Look, we got to go into it. We saw it, and look, there were a lot of positives.
Hmm.
This game honestly looked good for a good portion of the game, and for a minute it looked like, okay, are we moving to the next level? We are taking a very good team, and we are doing good against these guys. We're moving the ball, we're getting up and down the field, and then as you get into the second half, we're taking a considerable lead, and almost like you said, if we're a penalty away from putting the game, putting the nail in the coffin.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So there was a number of positives. Will, talk to me. What are some of the things that we did well in this game?
We played defense. That's what
Yes.
we did well. And they made some adjustments during the before the game and during the game. I'll hit up some of them here. So the first adjustment, no, I'm going to talk about how we played well. We kind of already talked about. We put a lot of pressure on Kirk Cousins.
Mhm.
I think I saw a stat at one point during the game where we had 18 hurries on him and 11 times we hit him. We knocked him to the
Yes.
ground. You know, we had a
Yes.
couple sacks during the game, but we were putting pressure on him. We were making him know that we were there. And like you said, they called timeout one time because he couldn't get up. You know, he needed some time. So that what we needed to do to make him rattled, that was happening. The adjustment number one that we made was they put Benjamin St. Juice on Justin Jefferson to shadow him. And he
Hmm.
followed him around. We're so much, we've been so old school in the William Fuller is on this side, William
Right.
Jackson or Kendall Fuller is on this side, and William Jackson is on this side, and we just get torched from it. But they were having St. Juice follow him around, and um, Justin Jefferson had 7 catches for 150 yards and a touchdown. So it's not that he
Right.
didn't have his day out there, but like I said, that touchdown catch wasn't bad coverage. He's an elite player who made a great play. That's going
Right.
to happen. Our guy does that too. It's no different than what Terry did the week before. The elite players make elite plays, but we had some good coverage. Um, we had our defensive line, our two stud tackles played really, really well in putting that
Yes.
pressure up the middle. They made a move in the second quarter. Our defense started to improve because they moved Jonathan Allen over the center. He was standing over the left guard. They moved him over the center because what the Vikings were doing is they were double teaming Deron Payne with the center and right guard. And by putting Allen directly over where that ball's being snapped, the center had to focus on him. And that allowed Deron Payne more space. And that guy's having himself a Pro Bowl season.
Yeah.
He's having a career year. He had 4 tackles for a loss. He was, he got a sack on Kurt. He was making a huge effect on the play. And so the defense just came out and played really, really well and continues to play really solid to the
Mhm.
point where, like you said, they gave us the chance to win this game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. And look, I mean 100% complementary football. They're giving the offense an opportunity to win. And another part of this, because we know it's a three-phase game, if the offense isn't getting it, the special teams is helping out. I've shouted out the special teams before. We know about our all-world punter Tress Way. 5 punts, 240 yards. Man is averaging, about 40, 45, 48 some odd yards a punt, like getting it down there, and got 3 in the 20. This guy's helping us change field position, which is helping our defense to get it going. It's Joey Sly, only one of one for the field goal, but still, you got that. You got the 2 extra points. These are successes. Now, and the reason why I bring that up is because we have had, even this year, but also in the last couple years, issues with kicking. So to have this work it out, all these are things that were helping us to maintain the victory. No points are left on the board. And number three, the emergence of Antonio Gibson at kick return is opening up, in my opinion, our offense because we're not sitting at the 15 or the 20 or the 25 like when Dax Milne was back there. We're getting out to the 40, the 50. The field position is being flipped, and we're having
Yeah.
better. We're be able to play, have a more expansive play calls because of the fact. Yeah, I was getting there. had a couple things going, and I was trying to reach.
Find it.
We're the playbook is wide open because
Yes.
of the fact that we are able to now we're starting at the 45 or the 50 or potentially in their territory as opposed to starting from the 20 and already being behind the eight ball type deal. So the
Right.
special teams is helping us. I've talked about this before. We've seen how the special teams of San Francisco essentially single-handedly that and that defense stopped the Green Bay Packers in the divisional round of the playoffs a year ago. So special teams is a huge factor. Our defense is playing up to par, and now their special teams on. We're two facets. We're in there. We get that one in the offense going, and we almost I don't want to say perfect game, but to play a team that has won 5 straight games coming into this, to play a team that has been pretty solid, we almost played a perfect game in that sense that we were doing everything right. At 17-7, late in the fourth, like you said, they had only scored 7 points with 10 minutes left in the fourth. We were doing everything right, and that was because those 2 phases were definitely working for us. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do have a positive on the offense. All right. And it's about the running game. It's kind of what I wanted to expand a little bit on your segment earlier. I like the fact that we utilize more than just traditional running to have a running attack, since it is a struggle for us. That Amari Rogers call was terrific. It caught everyone by surprise. It showed off his athleticism. It really was, just like the announcer said, they need to get this guy involved more. So it showed off that how athletic he is. So I did like that. And Curtis Samuel had that burst up the middle, as you mentioned.
yes.
So they are our 2 longest runs. But the other thing that happened in the second half that I felt helped us sustain drives is we utilized the pass to set up the run. And when we first started the game, and this whole season, we've kind of been relying on the running game to help us out with the pass game. And I felt we took a switch there. And so we would have a pass play for 5-6 yards. Then the next play would be a handoff where if Gibson or Robinson are only getting 3-4 yards, you're setting up 3rd and short, or they're getting a first down. And when you're getting that first down, you're setting up, you're building some momentum. And I felt that was a good use of the run game because it kept us balanced while we were marching down the field. Especially that that beautiful drive that we had where he hit Dax Milne for a touchdown pass.
Yes.
But we were utilizing a shorter pass game to then let the running game complement us by getting first downs out there. And so that was a way to have a balanced attack with not going first down handoff, second down handoff. Now we're going to throw on 3rd down and we're punting the ball. So that was kind of what I've been calling for the last couple of weeks. Like, let's change our rhythm on offense, and they seem to finally get into that. So I felt the running game improved in the second half. It still is not anything to write home about, but it was getting better.
Yeah, buddy. So did you notice Gibson run up the middle? He actually lowered his head and ran into the middle of the field. Gibson did that. The RB crew is building
I did.
competitiveness.
He took that. He was running the outside. He planted his foot and darted. It was great. It was great.
Oh yeah. So I too had running backs on here, but I also, I mean, you took everything. You said everything, but there is one thing I will say about the running backs, and it is in the sense that it is not just a traditional. We know about the 2-headed monster in Gibson and Robinson, but it is Amani Rogers on that one play. It is Curtis Samuel, and it's Taylor Heineke, who on the stat sheet, 4 carries, 17 yards, not really that much. And it was really a one run that did it. But I'm going to tell you something. And I know, look, I'll be the first. I've dogged this guy. I've sat here and when Will puts the shirt on and does this, I'm like, get out of here. Get it. This man, every time I look at him and I'm like, dude, what? I can't do it. I can't do it. He does a read option, comes around the right side, looks like he's going to get hit, dips, and spins, spins like a linebacker, and then takes it for 9. And I remember, so I was driving and I was, not watching, but I had the phone on and Kat was there. And I remember seeing it and I thought it was Brian Robinson. And I was like, oh, snap, bro. Oh, man, that dude, he's the truth. Because they were like, and this is why they have him, and this is why he's here. And I was like, oh, snap. And then it wasn't until I went back and looked. I was like, that's Taylor Heineke? What? Yo, so shout out to him. I have to. Because I'm going to be honest. And, shout out to our guy, Alex, who loves Taylor Heineke. He says there's certain things that Taylor does that Wentz cannot do, or just at this period in his career won't do. And one of them is that type of thing. I mean, it's a great move, and not all quarterbacks have that, but still to go out there and put yourself on the line. I mean, because after he makes that move, he runs up and dives forward for what was a controversial call when they said it was short. It looked like it was farther, got past the first down, but it was still a great move by him, and it was okay. It's energizers to the team, and it's something that not a lot of people can do. Being able to scramble out and get that kind of yard. So shout out to him. That's the praise I'm gonna give you, because I got a lot of other stuff coming.
We're about to rip you a new one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I forgot about that play, so thank you for that reminder, because that was happy times and happy memories of Taylor Heineke.
Right.
If you realize, I'm not wearing my shirt because
I see that.
It's in the bottom of the trunk right now.
Oh yeah. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and the reason being is because there are negatives. Absolutely. Oh my goodness gracious.
It's a lot of negatives.
I do not know if I can accurately describe the anger that ran through. I was driving with Catherine, and we were driving in a long enough distance to where I was listening to most of it on the radio, and when the radio flipped out because we were in the same area, I did it from the phone. And I'm just sitting here listening to it, and it went, it was 7-3-7. Okay, we're good. Oh, snap, 17-7. Wow, all right, cool. And then it kind of hit a lull for a second, and the phone went we lost service or whatever. And then all of a sudden, what's the score? 17-17. Wait, what? And then I heard just the last bit. Oh, Heineke had the opportunity. He gets sacked. They get the ball back. And it's just like, this is exactly what I was thinking. A year ago, this is what Heineke did. 8 minutes ago, methodically drive down the field, play by play, getting each third down, making sure their offense doesn't stay on the field. This time he gave it up to them, and they did exactly that. And the whole drive, all they kept saying was, and last year, Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings were 6-8 in close games. And your games decided by one score or less, or one score. And, if they could have won those, things could have been so much different. And now this year, they know how to win. They've learned how to win. And I just knew it. They were just driving, periodically just right down the field, driving. And even that wasn't that bad. But then I felt like we got karma. Karma from what, ladies and gentlemen? Karma from a year ago, we played the New York Giants. We did not deserve to win that game. Slayton dropped a wide open touchdown that would have put it out of reach. Then we had a game-winning field goal opportunity by Dustin Hopkins, who missed it, but there was a similar penalty. We're running into the center that gave us another opportunity in which we hit it. We should not have won that game. It was a steal completely. I can say that now, a year later. This was karma for that. Ridgeway came over there, blew him up, and I understand what Ron was saying and everything like that, but it was just the timing of it. Why? Come on. Because of the fact that we had stopped him. We had stopped him on 4th and short at the goal line. This was a huge thing. All right, good. You don't even need to. I mean, I understand trying to block the kick, but you're not going to block it from where you're at. Maybe you could get up there, and if you're at Too Tall Jones, you can stretch out. But if you look at the way that he takes a step, goes around him, by the time he even gets to a place where he might put his hands up, the kick is already through. So it's just, it's like a clip when the returner's already scored a touchdown and you're clipping from 20 yards behind. It's just not necessary. And that is the type of thing that we just don't need. And that was the huge negative for me that just frustrated me to all get out. And it was an uncomfortable ride for the rest of the ride. Kat will know. And she slipped in a couple you like that, and I said we can pull over, all right, and I will walk. All right, not dealing with it right now. So what are some of your negatives, man?
I'm gonna go to Heineke because I think a lot of our negatives are focused around him. And it kind of ties into the Giants game of last year you talked about. It ties into what the keys to the game we talked about, where I said you can only have your interception early because if you have it late, you're going to hurt us. And almost like you said, he was bound to have one of these types of plays. Remember that Giants game of week 2 when he made that dumb play that he threw an interception at like the 15-yard line and gave him the ball right back late in the fourth quarter that we were like, well, we lost it. And then I don't know, I can't remember what happened, but they didn't score on it or something. I don't remember what happened. But he had a chance to lose the game for us there. And on Sunday, while there were other factors, and the Ridgeway penalty was absolutely, devastating. This is just as bad, that interception that he threw. And he had himself a horrible game. If he had 149 yards, 15 of 28. If you take away the bomb to Curtis Samuel, which, mind you, there were 3 Vikings around when he threw this.
Thank you.
All right? And if it wasn't for the back judge knocking over the safety who was in position to catch it, that would have been an interception. And we wouldn't be sitting here even, celebrating. But it happened. So, I laughed when it happened. I was like, this man, he just gets away with stuff. Well, he didn't get away with when it really mattered. In the fourth quarter, when we're trying to play some ball control, keep the clock going, move the chains a little bit. On second down, he had pressure in his face, and he does what he does. He has poor mechanics, and when he has poor mechanics, bad things happen. Most of the time, it's because he has inaccurate throws, and this is what happened. And in that situation, he had the right read. Logan Thomas was open. But if you got pressure in your face and he can't step into the throw, he just kind of threw it off the back, all with his arm. He threw it high. He threw it right to the safety, who returned it, back to put them in scoring position. And the worst part about it is he looked off an open receiver.
Yeah.
And he talked about the fact that he knew if he threw it underneath, the guy probably would not have gotten the first down because he would have had to make a guy miss. But it would have been 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Mm-hmm. Instead, he was going for the first down, and he just allowed the Vikings to keep their momentum going. And we know he's good for an interception game, and he did it at the end, and we weren't able to overcome that mistake of him. But my thing is, like, this is who he is. We talked about it last week. This is why I said I'm out of the Taylor Heineke experiment. He's fun. He gets away with stuff that he shouldn't get away with. He's a great person. You want to root for him because of his excitement and his moxie that he's got. But he doesn't have the arm talent. He doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have the arm accuracy. And his limitations are limiting the team. And then when he's good for an interception, this time he did it at a time when we couldn't overcome it.
Yep. And it was frustrating. Now, at the same time, with that, we said he missed it over and under the tight end a couple times in eyes of McLaurin. Look, yeah, his passes have been interesting. Thank you, Jarrett. Keep your 6-2 Cowboys out of the comments.
Jay has one comment that we're going to get to a little bit later. So, but yeah, I see what you're talking about there, Jay.
But a lot of it also goes with some of the play calling, and especially on third down. We have an issue. Like we were able to get a couple third and shorts, but there was certain situations where we were not able to actually get it. Not able to get it. I talk about the one run that Heineke had where puts that corner on spin cycle to the linebacker and then, goes for what we thought was a first down. It got called short. If I'm not mistaken, no, that was the one where we ran the jet sweep, right?
I'm
I
not sure.
believe that might, if I'm not mistaken, that was the one where we had 3rd and 1 and then went for it 4th and 1 and
Yeah.
missed it on both because we couldn't get a daggone yard. I have a problem with our play calling, especially on 3rd down. A week ago, we had it where we had a draw up the middle. It was 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and he ended up slipping. The play was there, but still, come on. The first 3rd down we had in the game, we threw on a crossing route to Curtis Samuel that was 5 yards under, beyond short of the line of scrimmage,
Uh-huh.
or short of the first down marker. And it's like, what are you doing? Now he has to make a play to get the first down. So it's an issue. It's absolutely an issue. And you look, you and I discussed the one play. I sent you a video of it. We had an early 3rd down, I believe, in the first quarter, where drops back and look. We have Gibson over to the right. He comes back in motion. He goes out to run a swing over to the left. Looks like it's a screen set up. We drop back. The two defensive ends shoot up, so Heineke moves up, and then he ends up running as if it was a draw. Now, you had told me that you had thought that it was a design play, and then I looked at that and thought, oh, well, that's a design play. But still, I mean, it's just awareness. It's just, I mean, if it wasn't a draw, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, if it wasn't and it was the screen, okay, the play was there, but then Heineke, you got to make it happen. You know what I mean? 3 of 10 is not successful on 3rd down. We've been dealing with it for the last couple weeks, and it's not helping our offense. And with our offense failing, obviously the other parts of our team suffer. So, yeah, that's something that we definitely got to work on. Those play calls on 3rd down and getting our things together. So
that's a good segue to my next negative, which is going to be the offensive line, and part of it goes hand to hand. It's exactly what you're talking about. On that 3rd down play, we were in shotgun, 3rd and 1, and we're in shotgun. So we're giving the running back the ball 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage when we need 1 friggin' yard. Like, what do we promoted a fullback because we're down on tight ends. Put him on the field.
Right.
This is the time you run behind him on 3rd and 1. Like, we don't need to be running from shotgun like that on 3rd and 1. Do that on 2nd down and 1st and 10, all that stuff. I'm fine with that. And then, like you said, that next play. I actually didn't hate the 4th down call because the offensive line got blown up the middle. So if we did run it just like the week before, we would have gotten stuffed because our offensive line is terrible. It was a terrible throw by Heineke. He threw the ball behind Terry, and the defense got his hand in there. But I'm trying to segue to the offensive line being a problem. This was a game where Heineke did get pressured, and he's the type of quarterback that he can't. Like I said, if he can't set his feet, step into his throws, he's gonna be inaccurate. And his inaccuracies, just like Rex Grossman's inaccuracies, cause problems for your offense. And he turns into
Sexy Rexy.
2022 Sexy Rexy out there. And for a while, they were talking about, hey, have you noticed that our sack numbers are down because we've got a mobile quarterback and who knows how to get rid of the ball and can make space. But it's also a little bit more of, like you say, Heineke does this his voodoo stuff that he finds ways out of the pocket. It's not a good offensive line play. We still had 24 carries for like 80 yards by our running backs. That's not good enough.
No.
Like I said, it had to take gimmick plays to have a running game. We need more of that, but there's no fixing this offensive line. No. It is what it is. I did notice, though, the last 2 games we've had some pretty poor offensive outings running the ball. Trey Turner's been back in the game. Back as starting right guard. Now, I don't want to put all of it on him, but it's just kind of interesting that some of the troubles that we were having, and then we started to make some improvements. Well, the troubles are coming back, and number 53 is back out there too. So, but Cornelius Lucas had some troubles. He couldn't handle Zadarius Smith. He couldn't handle Danielle Hunter. So the offensive line, they did a piss poor job of constructing this unit in the offseason. They botched the 2 guards that they signed, and it is what it is. We can't do much about it, but it's really hindering our offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it is, and I got to talk about Taylor, man. I have to, because a lot of the issues that we had a year ago are reoccurring. I mean, one of the things that we talked about last year is he throws high balls. He throws a lot of times high balls. When you can overthrow daggone Logan Thomas, 6'7" Logan Thomas, that's a problem, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand you're short, you try to throw high, but come on. I mean, you look at that interception, he is overthrowing these guys by a mile, and it's a problem. And the other thing is, look, we always talked about Carson Wentz holding onto the ball and holding it, waiting for the big play. And we know Heineke has a propensity to go for that deep ball, go for that. But if it comes at the expense of a shorter pass that might be open, there was a number of times when the swing route was wide open. Not even just on that one play we discussed, but he's just standing here with time in the pocket, looking deep. And it's like, dude, the defenders are backing up. You can at least get 5 over here. If not, run the ball. You know what I mean? And then we got lucky on the deep. But let's just be very honest. You stated it. The daggone field judge was down there and tripped up that guy who was sitting there waiting. And you could tell when he falls down, his hands are still like this because he's like, this was gift wrapped to him. I didn't see this play till after the fact, and I'm glad I didn't, because I would have just lost it. Because he was triple covered. Will, come on. Like, I respect, hey, damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead. I respect effing he's down there, whatever. But no, especially when there are guys shorter that you can hit for a first down. I get it. You want to charge the team, but you don't have to charge the team by potentially giving the game away. Yep. You know what I mean? And even on the interception late in the game that we talked about was overthrown, you had Dax Milne on one side coming in and shooting out and doing a little dig route. You had on the other side, I think it was Sims coming in doing the same thing. Both wide open. Both had angles. You could get it. It's a 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 11. Hit it. Get them quick and go. The route that Milne ran was the same one that you scored a touchdown. You threw a touchdown pass to him. You know what I mean? Get it to him and let him go up the field and do it. But you took the shot. Fine. I don't have a problem with you taking the shot. You threw it to a wide open guy. Logan was wide open. Huge target. This is great. How do you overthrow him? Like, that to me, okay. Like, okay, maybe it's just like Joey Sly, you're too jacked up and whatever. But no. And I mean, just the worst possible time. Taylor just, oh my God. And see, this is the issue with winning the late games against the Packers, winning late games against the Colts, is that we tend to try to forget about why those late games were in the position that they were in. Yes. Because we couldn't do anything because of a lot of these things that happened before. And that is the frustration that I have with him. A lot of people sit out here and think, oh, man, you hate Taylor, or you this, you that, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't hate the man at all. I see him for what he is. You know what I mean? Yeah. And stuff like this, he's better than that. That's my problem. I understand he can't throw as much. I understand he wants to go balls to the wall and do what it is. But if you can understand your limitations, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls understanding their limitations and just doing what they need to do. So, Taylor, rant over. What is going on, Anthony, and what's going on, Andrew? Sorry, you guys had to come in and see me go off on my quarterback.
But you know, Sean, you said it. He's better than this, but is he better than this? If you could essentially say he was a rookie last year. All right, that was his first time to play extensively. But he played a full season. He had 16 starts. He said he learned from his mistakes that he made last year. You're not showing that out here. You're not being any more careful than you were last year, and you're not any more accurate than you were last year. So that's the whole point where I'm over the Taylor Heineke experience, just because he is what he is. He's going to make a mistake in the game, and you just got to wonder, when is it going to be, and are we going to be able to overcome it? And in this situation, in this game, it was at the end, and no, we weren't able to overcome it.
No, and I think, even your point, one of your keys, throw the interception early. We're already conceding that it's going to happen.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Just let's do it at the right time. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yep.
You got any more negatives here?
Small things, but it's no, not really.
Yeah.
We'll just be piling on. We got the big stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.